Hello everybody, my name is Zach with Overrated Gamers, and today we're going to discuss what makes Commander fun and what makes it not so fun. So a lot of people, when they make these lists or they make these articles or these blogs or whatever you use to publish your train of thought or just talking with other people, a lot of people list the cards as the problem. They say, well, let's not play with Sol Ring, let's not play with Vampiric Tutor, Demonic Tutor, Gaia's Cradle, Mana Crypt. And generally it's generally not the problem. Generally it comes down to the community, the general attitudes of the players. Are people playing to win or to have fun? So you can have any deck. Like I have Captain Sisay, she's really consistent, but a lot of people don't like her because she just denies resources, stops you from doing things. There are a lot of decks that don't have that kind of money and stuff poured into them, and people don't always enjoy playing with that. Generally, I have found over the past few years that I like the deck, but it's not my go-to deck. It's always got the same plan. So anyways, generally the goal isn't to ban cards or to go with the 80-20 rule. If you enjoy those rules and you enjoy the deck limit, like, only put Sol Ring in one of your decks, only put Vampiric in one of your decks, only put Demonic Tutor in one of your decks. Sure, that's fine. If you enjoy that aspect, I would encourage that. I'd say go for it. But if you're just doing it because you believe that lowering the power level of the group will make the game more interesting, generally then I wouldn't do it. Because the things that make the game fun tend to be everyone's overall attitude for the game. So if everyone who's playing, if their goal is only to win, and you're always playing with 4 players, 3 out of 4 players aren't going to enjoy the game that they're playing. And so only one person's going to be happy. And even then, when your goal is to win, I tend to find it's still just not satisfying. Like, when you play Commander, there's no prizes. There's no point in playing just to win. When someone wins, it ends the game. But it shouldn't be the only goal you're going for. When I play, I like to play to have a good game. One where there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of interaction, there's a lot that happens, and everyone's lighthearted, having a good time. I've played lots of matches full of that, and I've played lots of matches full of the opposite. I've played matches where I've played Captain Sisay and I've won all night and I haven't actually enjoyed myself. I've gone home after 5-6 hours of playing and I've thought, this was terrible. There have been nights where I've played a bunch of Sliver Queen in my 5-color legendaries and Xenagos, and I have thought, well, I've had tons of fun. I've had nights with mixed experiences. I've had nights where I've played all Captain Sisay and it's been all fun and everyone had fun at the end. The problem isn't in the cards. The problem is in the attitudes of the group you play with. Now, obviously, you don't want to be the person playing with one of these, what we call legacy decks, in Commander. Captain Sisay is considered a legacy deck. She's like a tier 1 deck. She's one of the best ones in there, or Arkham Daxon, or any of those decks. Those decks can be fun, but if you're the only one playing at that power level, I would suggest building something else. Oftentimes we do have new players come to the shop that I play at. So that was part of the reason I made the 5-color deck, so I'd have a lower power level deck, one that's not ridiculous, but one that's still fun to play with, and fun for other people to play with, and just has neat interactions. Things like Olivia Voldaren, Carador, things like that. I even have an elemental deck, which I'll unveil in a week or two. I still have a few more 5-color decks. But you need to find something you all have in common that's fun, whether it's deck building. If you're playing for flavor, if you all enjoy playing competitively, I'd say go for it. But one of the most common things I see in Commander is people look at the deck, and the deck and the cards are not to blame. Yes, they do have a ban list, and I would highly suggest abiding by that ban list, because most of those cards would be ridiculous if they were unbanned. But I would also encourage you, if you want to try playing with cards like those, if you want to put uncards in, and your group is okay with that, I'd say do that. Have fun. That's what Commander was made for. Commander, yes, there are tournaments for it, and if you enjoy that aspect, I'd say go for that too. But if you're playing the game and you just find you're not having fun, stop and think for a moment. Think to yourself, why am I not enjoying this? Why isn't this fun for me? And if the reason you're thinking is, we're just trying to win, or a few players are trying to win, or one person's trying to win, or everyone's trying to win, or if you notice you're the problem, it's like, I'm trying to win. You know, like, I've had times where I had gotten very into that mindset. But, like, think about that, and then just think to yourself, well, that's not very fun. Let's try having a bit more fun. You know, you don't always have to make optimal plays in Commander. Occasionally, I'll let someone get one of their big cards, or play a big card, or do something really interesting in the game because it's interesting, or it's fun, or sometimes it's just funny. You know, if there's a guy playing with a coin flip deck, you don't really need to kill all his, like, killing all his permanents isn't necessarily the answer. If you want to win, I mean, oftentimes I'll let those decks do whatever they want because it's entertaining. Or people will build chaos decks where there's random effects going on. There's a lot you can do with this format, and I feel limiting your card pool isn't the answer unless you enjoy those challenges. But it always comes back to what's fun. Are you having fun, and are other people having fun? If everyone is having a good time, then I believe you are playing EDH correctly. If everyone is not having fun, then either your group isn't playing correctly or someone in there isn't playing correctly, in my opinion. But as I said, I believe everything is in moderation. So, I mean, do try to win, but don't make it your only goal of the game. At the same time, build a good deck, but you don't necessarily have to build a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 EDH deck. That is one of the other problems that we come to, though. There are people that don't necessarily have as much fun in Commander because they've just gotten into Magic, they pick up Commander, and then they realize to build a decent deck, oftentimes you do have to drop a few $100s. But the thing to think about is, for almost any hobby that you do have to drop money into it. If you're recording, you have to spend money on equipment. If you're playing Magic, I mean, I've been playing since 2003. I've accumulated these cards over years. I don't currently have much in the way of being able to buy new cards, but I can trade old cards, and a lot of old cards do go up over time, and so I've gotten lucky in that regard. I played during Zendikar, a lot of those cards went up, and that's how I got things like my Gaia's Cradle and my Mana Crypt. But you don't necessarily need cards like those either. If you're looking for a deck, get the basic mana base, get the shock lands, you know, get things like Command Tower. And for that matter, if you're a monocolor deck, well, then it becomes a lot easier for the land base. For the amount of cards you need, the cost of the deck overall will decrease, and all that good stuff. And if your group doesn't mind, then play with proxies. I've done that before. Some of my decks have partial proxies in them, in the videos. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, sometimes you can't afford to get the new ones, or sometimes you can't find someone who has those cards to trade for them. And so, you know, sometimes that's the answer. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of insight. Let me know what you think of this video. If you liked it, we could make other videos like this. We are thinking of making some top 5 or top 10 lists in the future. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next video.